we find out government's a little nasty on occasion. Hello, Peter.
Yeah, at times.
Hello, President Trump.
Government's a little bit nasty, Peter. You haven't noticed that. You've had a charmed life, right?
You tell me.
Very charmed. I think you've had a charmed life. I think what I'll do, if you don't mind, numbers have just come out which are rather extraordinary, and I thought I'd play a tape of one of the people who I've respected over the years, from Joe Kiernan and Rick Santelli. This just came out, and we'll just play that for a second.
Personal income is up 0.8%. That is almost triple the expectations. I'll tell you that the income numbers, really, for the first 4 months of the year, they're stellar. They're really stellar. I mean, I could go back and look at the first 4 months of many different years. Really very strong numbers, and you're right. This administration is criticized for just about everything under the sun. I've never, ever in my lifetime had glimpses into the politics of an administration in the form of transparency like this one. Why don't we be, give credit where credit is due. Income really shooting up.
Rick, I also thought everybody was going to get one last order of imports that were going to be tariffed, and they were loading up on things. How the hell they already fix the trade, or not fix it, but to cut it in half? That's crazy. So there wasn't a lot of front loading of things that they needed before the tariffs hit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it really does call into question some of the conventional wisdoms. And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next month when we get this number, or we see some of the other numbers like current accounts, see how they fared. Because I don't know, I've been watching these numbers a long time. I don't think I've ever seen the trade deficit cut in half in 1 month.
Not bad. Woo. Right? Not bad.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. I see Howard and Scott are here, so it's great. You guys want to stand over here? You might as well. You're the ones that help produce those numbers, and it'll only get better. The tariffs are so important, and that's why we were so happy with the decision yesterday where the tariffs continue, because without the tariffs, our nation would be imperiled. We would really be imperiled. I think I can say that with great surety, Scott and Howard. And so we were very happy to get that decision, that big decision yesterday. And today it's about a man named Elon, and he's one of the greatest business leaders and innovators the world has ever produced. He stepped forward to put his very great talents into the service of our nation, and we appreciate it. And I just want to say that Elon has worked tirelessly helping lead the most sweeping and consequential government reform program in generations. And the kinds of things that he's found and his people have found. He's brought a group of very smart people in, and they found things that are pretty unbelievable. I have to say that the numbers that we're talking about are substantial, but they're going to be very much more substantial with time, because many of the things that we're working on right now, we're going to have to remember Elon as we find them, but the numbers could double and triple because many things, we don't want to go out with them until we're sure, but we've found things that are unbelievably stupid and unbelievably bad. With the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon's delivered a colossal change in the old ways of doing business in Washington. Doge has installed geniuses with an engineering mindset and unbelievably talented people and computers. I actually asked Elon one time, what's their primary thing? And they have a lot of primary things, all having to do with being smart. But he said the thing that they're really the best at is working with computers, so that they can't be outsmarted by somebody that's not so honest, that happens to also be.
Well, folks, there you have it. He is good at working with computers. That's what Trump said about Elon Musk. Of all of the things he could have said about the richest man in the world, the guy behind Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, all of it, he reduced him to good with computers. I feel like it was weird. It was dismissive, and in my opinion, it tells you everything you need to know about where this relationship stands now. Because what we just watched, that wasn't a tribute. That sort of looked like a breakup to me. An awkward, forced, deeply uncomfortable goodbye between two guys. The body language said more than words did. Trump was stiff, barely looking at Musk. Elon was fidgeting, barely present. It felt fake to me, like they were both just trying to get through the performance without making headlines, for the wrong reasons. But I still think we should talk about it, because this whole Musk-Trump government experiment, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, was supposed to save America trillions of dollars. And what it actually did? Well, let's just say not that. So here's the deal. Elon Musk was working as some kind of special government efficiency czar. In Trump's second term. He created a team and called it DOGE, which stands for Department of Government Efficiency. Anyway, Musk came in, black suit, black tie, dark, mega energy, and promised to chop $2 trillion in government spending. $2 trillion. All right, so fast forward a few months, and the actual cuts have been around $175 billion. Even Trump seemed to be pulling numbers out of thin air. 2 trillion, 1 million, 160 billion. It was like watching a kid guess candy in a jar. It's been a total mess. And while the numbers never added up, the consequences did. Across the states, thousands of federal employees were laid off, many from critical departments like Veterans Affairs and Social Security. These are just people trying to earn a living in their jobs. Their jobs are now suddenly gone. Well, guess what? Some of them were asked to come back just days later because, big surprise, it turns out their jobs were kind of important. Who could have seen that one coming? Now, before we go any further, quick favor. If you find this video informative, please tap the like button and hit subscribe. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. Okay, so back to this Musk-Trump drama. So why did Musk quit? Well, it's not like he was pushed out, but this whole thing was flopping so hard, it probably made Tesla stockholders sweat. Public opinion was brutal. Musk went from being the hero of green tech bros to the poster boy for chaotic government slash and burn politics. Tesla's brand was severely damaged. International relations completely strained. There were even protests, as you all know, outside some of his factories. And don't forget, Musk's core customers are the same people who used to vote for Obama and Biden. They didn't exactly vibe with him cozying up to Trump and swinging an axe at government initiatives. So yes, from a business perspective, the guy needed out badly. Trump, of course, tried to make it look graceful. He thanked Musk for cutting waste, praised the savings, and called America the hottest country in the world right now. Take it for what it is, because I am not sure what that means. But let's not sugarcoat it. Doji was a PR stunt, which means Doji is probably going to fade into political background like every other forgotten campaign stunt. You know, like the wall Mexico was supposed to pay for. But before we move on, Trump slipped in another little bombshell during that same speech. And this one actually matters. Remember those tariffs Trump put on steel, aluminum, and basically anything that moves? A US court ruled they were illegal. But now, an appeals court has stepped in and said, hold up. While we're reviewing the case, the tariffs can stay, which means the tariffs are now still on. Prices are still going to be high, supply chains are still going to be blocked. And yes, Canada, the EU, and the rest of the world is still stuck dealing with them. These tariffs were originally justified under national security reasons, but the court that tried to block them had judges from across all political spectrums, and they all agreed. These tariffs go beyond what a president is allowed to do. But because the appeal is ongoing, the tariffs still stand, at least for now. And let's not forget how we got here in the first place. Trump's trade war wasn't about policy, it was about power. He weaponized tariffs to punish allies and pick fights with rivals. The original promise was make America great again. But what we got was a supply chain nightmare, rising costs, and a federal workforce that has been gutted. Meanwhile, Musk walks away with his billions, and Trump keeps spinning the same old story. And that brings us to the bigger picture. When you let billionaires who hate regulation run public services, this is what you get. It's pure chaos, broken promises, and a trail of economic damage. We're supposed to believe that people who built their fortunes dodging taxes and cutting corners are suddenly experts in running a country. So now the appeal process will keep dragging out and the tariffs will stay. Doji might still technically exist, but without Musk, let's be honest, it'll turn into a ghost ship. As always, I have attached my sources for this information, and here they are. I try to provide credible sources and information so that you know what you're hearing is a fact. All right, folks, thanks for joining me. If you enjoy content like this,